Thanks.
Ford just got reelected, so we can kiss that goodbye.
Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to What's Left. It has been chaos behind the scenes today.
We've talked about so many topics, and of course, Jay decided to deal psychic damage in like the instant before we went live. So that's
Hell
cool.
yes.
That's cool. A thing that happened.
How we roll. Welcome to What's Left of Us. It's the TTRPG podcast where we sit here and we play, among other things, Basements and Big Lizards. And we do it once a month, and today it's that day. So now we're gonna actually play a game. With me today, obviously, I have my lovely cast members and the mods in chat. Say hello, mods. The mods, for those of you wondering, are Pronus My Bio and Slyfox, and both of those people will be keeping our chat space safe for us today, as they always do. They will also answer some of your questions if you have any burning ones that require answering immediately, and they will beat the hell out of anybody who tries to bother us, and they will leave them back behind the Denny's, a broken and wasted mess. That's deeply specific.
We can't control them when they get like this.
That's right. So, the mods are going to have an issue with that, I think. At the end of every episode, speaking of questions, we stick around because we have a table talk session where you folks can ask us questions in the chat, and we will try to answer them to the best of our ability about both this particular episode and any beforehand. And of course, that means that you will have a chance to write those questions in chat, and we will try to answer them live for you. The VOD for this, the video on demand, is available immediately after the episode. It will already be on the YouTube and the Twitch. All you got to do is look at the past broadcasts on Twitch or go to the live section of the YouTube page, and you'll be able to find it. So let's see here. Please, I don't want to go behind the Denny's. Listen, we can't control these mods. They have a Denny's. They're going to stash bodies behind it. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, if we had the password to the account, we could unmod them, but we lost that a long time ago.
Yeah, they took it from us.
They're here forever now.
Yeah, it's like they've got power of attorney over us.
They're just stronger than us.
They did. They made me sign a DNR earlier. It was scary.
I'm excited about today's session, and here's why. Yeah. This is the first session that we've played since I've taken an improv course at Second City. And I think you're going to find that I'm so much now I'll be able to make jokes and yes and with all of you, which I couldn't have done before.
Well, thank God. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah,
but
you've been polite about it, and I appreciate that. But no longer will you need suffer in this fashion.
It's good, amazing. What else do I usually talk about at the very beginning?
See, we can yell at the people who kept donating memberships
they have,
before we joined.
Triggers and stuff.
I did the trigger thing as well. Yes. By all means, everybody, please. Everyone at the table here has acquiesced to a whole bunch of stuff that can happen at the table. But obviously, you people have not had that opportunity. So if anything comes up that is particularly disturbing to any of you, please take time to duck out of the chat and come back in a little later whenever that happens. And
if you're concerned about it, it usually happens towards the end when Jay decides to hurt all of us.
Yeah. A very funny thing is happening right now where when you folks aren't here, I tend to put your character photos up on your plates. And dear Ronathan, I put your picture somehow above your camera, and so you are being blocked by your own character right now.
Blocked by my own character on my own D&D podcast.
Okay, we're back. We're back. We're good. Chat got to see behind the scenes for half a minute.
Cool. Chat didn't hear any of the things that we said just now.
No, we didn't. You didn't hear anything about Chairman Mao being a furry.
What? What?
Listen,
we did
we
not
have-
say anything about that. We did not.
Yeah, we
You did not say that.
Star, you
on the
don't know this, but you
podcast.
actually can't say no in improv. So
You're not allowed to
Oh.
say no.
yeah.
Oh shit! I've never taken an
Unless-
improv class, so I didn't know that.
Unless
Yeah.
it's no and.
No, actually,
Mm.
it's still
I thought
frowned
it was
upon.
no butt, but yeah.
Oh no, I said it. Fuck!
Ah, shit!
That's it.
Banned from your improv class.
I've learned nothing.
All right. Who wants to do a recap before this really descends into pure madness?
Yeah, so
We're
I
not
think
there
that's gonna be on me and Zoe because the other two were in a hole apparently.
They were
Yeah,
in a
it was-
hole.
Just the girlies.
It's
Mhm.
girly hours.
Girly hours. Girly trauma
Yeah,
hours.
Girly just finding some shit and shit that was probably better left unfound. And, exercising a giant marble out of your fucking chest. I guess that's cool.
Mhm.
Guys,
Mhm.
Jay nerfed me. I got
Aw.
fucking nerfed.
It's true. To be a little more succinct.
But that wasn't good enough for you.
I will say though, you were already kind of Nerf because Nerfs are made of foam like a puppet.
Call me a muppet.
Yeah, well, Kermit the Frog specifically.
I do have that toggle somewhere. I'll get it later.
We had dueling crystals last time.
There was
Yeah,
no
it was
Is
crystals.
I think
Okay.
the most succinct
Oh yeah.
way
So-
to put it.
Again, to be a
I
little more
watched it.
succinct. No, that's amazing. Upon leaving the Feywild, Tim, Emery, and Henry and Sparks found themselves without the other two companions of the party. Obviously, the Feywild is always random and deeply unconventional, and you can't even trust a portal these days. And so they decided that the best thing to do was to go to, as they were close enough, TimTam's family compound, because that was the plan to begin with, and they believed that the others would know where to go should they appear later, or if they appeared before them. And going with that too, I believe, Emery, you managed to message via the Sparksophone your uncle, who informed you that you had been gone for 5 years, which was a joke. You had actually been gone for only about a week, I think, was what he said.
And it was like 4 hours for us.
Yeah,
And
basically.
so a week had
Yeah.
actually passed. So that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Love timey-wimey
Um,
shenanigans.
Yeah, Feywild's like that. It's fun. It's kooky. It's quirky. Everyone loves it. So you folks decided to get yourselves together and head towards the compound, and you did indeed find it. Inside, you found TimTam's parents' laboratory with the two automata still operating there. They had whimsical names. I can't remember them now. For the life of me.
Weebles and Woobles. I
Weebles and
believe.
Wobbles.
No,
Weebles
it was
wobble, but they don't fall down.
Woobles. It
Is
was
it Woobles?
Woobles. It
It's
was
Weebles and Woobles. Weebles wooble, but they don't fall down. Regardless, Henry had enough of all the spookiness because he is an actual gnomish teenager. And so he preferred to stay behind with the two automata who were desperately trying to get cookies correct and help them with that. And so the other two went deeper into the actual family laboratory, the secret laboratory that Tim was never allowed into. And it is here that they indeed found many an arcane device and cloning vats of all sorts. And at the very back end, a device capturing a purple glowing crystal that was making a humming noise, sort of music that was very difficult to hear for those of you who had not before. And a reaction immediately. As it turned out, the thing making Emery freak out all the time when she gets too low on health was a different crystal, an opposing one, a dark crystal, if you will. Don't sue me, Jim Henson. I have one of your puppets.
So she's another Jim Henson property, is what you're saying.
No! God fucking damn it.
Got her. Okay.
I didn't know Emery was a Skeksis.
I am gonna leave this call, I swear to God.
Jesus Christ.
Finish your recap, Corn Man.
There was a small battle that ensued wherein TimTam was able to exorcise her friend, releasing the anathema crystal to the ground, and that is precisely when Ratgurther and Vernon tumbled out of a Feywild portal directly into the room where they were sitting, and was like, "What's up?" Having had almost no time pass between the circus and the day or two that it took the others to get to where they are now.
And where were they? Dungeon Master.
Yes, we return at the moment of the change.
It's a good impulse to ask that question, Star. You're a really good storyteller. Almost like Jim Henson's The Storyteller, which was an HBO show that Jim Henson made.
Yes, it was.
That's the first of many today.
And
so
I'm sure he also made other films that are
He did.
not
I will
relevant.
have his IMDb open in another tab this whole session, so just...
Mildred,
hate this.
You
hate
are
this
a
for me.
treasure. I
No,
deeply appreciate your presence.
Do not encourage this behavior.
Okay. So Vernon and Rathgurther, the pair of you stepped into the portal with your friends at the circus. And almost immediately you understood that things were wrong. Allow me to transition us. Where did I go? Ah.
I don't know why we would think this was wrong.
Seems right to me.
Oh, what is this hellscape?
You find yourself in a wide expanse. It goes on in every direction. Surrounding you and in bits and pieces, you see thorny growths covered in orange and green flames, dotted with purple crystals floating gently inside of them. You're not too sure what happened. It does vaguely remind you of that other time where you were caught in between a teleport. It would make sense then that this could be some sort of Fey-ish version of that, as the Feywild has many different ways of getting to the magic that it produces.
Well, this is another fine how do you do.
Yeah. Well, I don't quite know what to make of this, if I'm being honest with you. This it's all very fiery, and I don't quite like it.
Nor I. If I see a giant crab monster in here, I will be holding you responsible.
I think that's entirely fair. I don't have control over it, but it does learn from me, so...
It learns... Okay, well...
Yes.
We're going to address that as soon as we figure out why we're in some sort of hellscape.
That's, yes, probably preferable, yes.
Do we see, like, anything to head towards or, like, any points of interest?
There, aside from the bundles of bracken that are surrounding you, you don't really have a good idea of exactly where you are, despite having these like obvious little flotillas of things that kind of anchor you in your immediate space. As you look, it just goes. And it's almost as overwhelming as you would imagine being in the deep astral or in the ocean. There's just no unique points of reference.
What is this Claude Belsinki bullshit?
I'm afraid I don't understand the reference, but I mean, this looks like it's honestly, this is fine. This is all fine. Everything here is fine.
Why do you say that?
Let's no reason. It feels right when you're surrounded by fire to me to say that everything is fine. Maybe we should try to move forward. Perhaps if we just move in our direction, we'll run into something. Now I can't quite tell which way is north, south, east, or west,
Are there
or up or
stars in the sky?
down.
There is what appears to be little twinkling lights that could indeed be stars.
Is there one that's brighter than the rest?
Good question. Maybe a perception check.
Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop. That's your classic 17.
Classic 17. You're looking around and you're trying to see exactly if there's a brighter one than others, and you spot one. Dead ahead, space-wise, space north, space forward, 12 o'clock.
To keep us from losing our bearings, we should head towards that bright star.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Yes, let's go and do that.
Yes, it will help us navigate this labyrinth.
Yes, Yes, that's interesting word. Yes, let's go. Okay, away we are.
Suddenly, a colossal David Bowie. No,
Oh shit!
No, the light that you're going towards, you get the distinct impression that it blinks.
Like an eyeball or like a Stardew?
Like an eyeball.
Oh.
Dude.
Yes.
I feel taken advantage of.
I mean, your instincts are good because I have.
I'm going to try to ignore that.
You know, Rathgurther, I don't know many stars that blink like that.
The clumps of thorns and bracken around you and in the distance begin to clump together and form slowly the face of what appears to be a young woman. Orange fire
Lady Tumbleweed.
cascades down the sides of her head. She has wide eyes and a distinct crown of flowers and thorns.
Hello. What's your
Hi.
thing? What do you want?
Oh. Hello. How did you get in here?
No idea. We were in a Fey circus and we left through a portal and showed up here. I'm the mighty Rathgurther. This is my companion, Vernon.
That's
You probably
me.
haven't heard of him.
No. Heroes. How quaint.
Well, I'm a hero. He's kind of neutral, I suppose. Hero in the
I like
Greek
to take
sense of
things.
a great figure, but in terms of moral character, it's difficult to say.
Mm.
Do you save people?
Sure, yeah.
Yes, of course.
Are you in trouble?
Yes.
I've been trapped in here a long time.
Yes.
Roughly how long would you say?
It's hard to say. He has such control, you see.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name?
Names are dangerous. If I give you mine now,
Well,
You
I
can
gave
find
you
you
mine, so it
just
does
that.
feel only fair.
oh, it is fair. How about you call me the Queen of Thorns?
Okay. Queen of Thorns
It's a
it
very
is.
cool name. I will definitely jot that down for later for when I'm Definitely not running some kind of a scam.
Her middle name is Of.
So, Your
Ovi.
Majesty, what can we do for you?
Well,
I assume you have some sort of Faustian bargain you'd like to offer us, and I would very much like to get that over with.
A bargain? I could. But I'd much rather just help you if you would help me.
Yes, that's what a bargain is. What do you need?
I would very much like... I don't think you can free me. I don't think you're that strong. But I think you can give me a...
All right.
I think you can
Getting a
give
bit
me a
lippy,
way
but
to help myself. If you're okay with that.
well, Vernon, I can't speak for you, but I feel what you're saying is a tad vague.
Yes, it does seem.
We're very
I would also like a
careful.
little bit more detail.
All I need for you to do is take one seed of my babies.
Uh-huh.
And
And I'll put you back on the material plane. Safe and
And if
sound.
we refuse?
I suppose I'll still put you back. You seem like you're nice.
Would you pardon us for a moment?
Oh yes, of course. And
The briar face just kind of moves to the side.
I don't like this.
no, fire never portends anything really, let's say, beneficial in the long run, as you so clearly pointed out with the Faustian verbiage there.
Yes, I know you do tend to be rather cavalier about what eldritch beings you make bargains with, but it's not something I make a habit of.
I wouldn't say cavalier personally, but I understand what you're getting at, I suppose. If you're not feeling confident with it, then I would not go forward with it either. At least I wouldn't, rope you into it.
Appreciate that.
Yes, of course. Always looking out for my crew, as it were.
Okay, Queen of Thorns, we've come to a decision.
yes,
We're not super comfortable in it, and I hope you don't take this personally. It's just that we just came from the Feywild, where everyone does, manipulative bullshit, and it's you're not exactly forthcoming with your motives. It's difficult to trust that if we were to do as you ask, it wouldn't. And again, I mean no offense. Blight the world with some sort of eldritch evil.
Oh, you're smart. That's good. That's very good.
Would you believe
think-
that she never learned to read, though?
Why would you not know how to read?
Just never learned. Was
She's
never
done all of
relevant.
this without knowing, yes.
That's terrible. What's that?
Well, my mind is still mighty.
Like on the material plane, the literacy numbers need to go up.
What is an education system?
That's okay. Look, now I feel bad. So I'm going to. I said I would put you back, and I meant it.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
Your
thank you.
Majesty.
This will be a little dangerous. You've wandered into some place that you shouldn't have.
I get that
Wandered is a
impression.
strong word.
Well, I don't think she would care. I'm going to summon what I can. Just maybe don't forget me.
I don't think that would be possible.
Yes.
Oh, good, then we're friends.
Sure, yes. Yeah, sure.
Of course.
Okay.
Best buddies. Some might even say
have fun.
besties.
And You should probably start running. Rathgurther, in a dark spot behind you.
Your voice changer's still on, bud.
A dark spot behind you. You feel a new presence coming in immediately. There's a portal opening in front of you, far enough away that it's difficult to probably get to, considering you can't kick off of anything immediately. But you feel it. Something is immediately affected by the way this portal has opened, like a defense system.
I am 23 skidooing it.
Excellent.
Feats don't fail me now. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I need the both of you to make me charisma saving throws.
Get those bongos out and just go.
Exactly.
I'm trying to make some sort of blue skidoo joke, but neither of their names work with it.
20.
That's a 22 for me.
The both of you realize that in this space, what really matters is your willpower. And so by sheer force of charisma, you both rocket yourselves forward as though you were on the arcane plane itself. Behind you, you hear the unfolding of massive wings, one after another. 9, 10 sets, 12 sets, 15 sets of wings, gigantic. Do you dare to look behind you as you flee towards this portal?
Nope, I know we're being chased by Emery.
I fear nothing. I will look behind me.
I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, Rathgurther.
No problem. That's in that one.
Oh no! Oh no! The dice giveth, and the dice fuck you up.
So I shouldn't have done that, huh?
Probably not. No.
Rathgurther
Probably not, bud.
is
Probably
mighty.
not.
In hindsight, being given the option to look behind me, probably should have taken that as a warning. But YOLO.
We gotta make it interesting.
Rathgurther, as you spin around, you are indeed still drifting towards the portal. Your escape all but assured. What you see behind you is a nightmare. Wings upon wings upon wings along a long serpentine feathered body. She is enormous. Rows of arms ending in talon-like claws. She is darkness itself coming to get you. Her face a screeching owl's beak. She is screaming something, but it is in Sylvan, and so you can't understand it unless one of you does know Sylvan. I don't believe you do.
I'm pretty sure I do, actually.
I don't think I do.
I remember
I know
because I
Common
thought
and
it.
Deep Speech.
Where is the languages on your character sheet in
It
D&D
is
Beyond?
It's
Features
right
and traits?
underneath the senses.
Left column near the bottom.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh, upsetting, but that's fine. You don't understand, but part of the message, at least, is clear. You have trespassed on a dangerous bit of ground, and she means to terminate you before you leave with the precious knowledge you have gained. Vernon, you are ahead, as you have not slowed at all. If you turn around, you can make another charisma saving throw to save Rathgurther.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm going to be making some kind of a quip, and I'm going to turn around. That's going to be, you said charisma saving throw? That's a 21.
21. You reach out, and a spectral crab claw reaches out and scoops Rathgurther up with you. And you both tumble through an open portal smelling of autumn leaves as Rathgurther bumps gently against one of the briar patches, snapping some twigs. And you are
Well, that
back
was
in
quite
the
fun.
laboratory with everyone else.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Hello?
What?
Did you see
what
that
you
fucking thing? That was crazy.
I was No, I was too busy running for the portal, and then I reached back to grab you. I didn't see whatever was chasing us, but
It was
sounds like it was horrific.
Wings and claws and so many wings. It was like the darkness itself had come alive.
Where have you guys been?
Yeah, sounds like you guys had fun. Emery is laying on the floor for the record.
We went to some sort of fire dimension with a lot of shrubs, and we spoke to a shrub lady, called herself the Queen of Thorns.
Normal.
And she wanted us to bring seeds back to the material plane, but we refused because, like, fucking come on. And then we were attacked by some kind of wing monster.
Did you guys drink one of the potions in the Feywild? Because it sounds like maybe this was like all a big hallucination or something.
Yeah, I very specifically told you guys not to do that.
Oh, I don't remember if I did or not, now that I think about it. But no, this was definitely not a hallucination. You just saw us fall out of a portal.
Yeah, a portal from the Feywild, probably.
I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Anyway, do you guys want to hear what happened
Is
to us?
anything I'm saying any crazier than the shit that happens to us, like, every week?
Well,
We're on a haunted choo-choo. We're fighting lava golems.
we got the soul hole out of Emery.
Yeah, don't touch that. And she just like points to how big would you say this is? Like cue ball or bigger?
The orb is roughly the size of like
A baseball?
Softball.
a grapefruit, like a pamplemousse. It's about, it's about yay big. I need something to hold
Also, this big purple crystal is
See
it's
this?
made
This
of
is-
me or I'm
everyone
made
knows how
of
big
it.
these are. Yeah, about that big.
Why
and
are we all made of things?
Yeah.
I'm mushrooms, he's crabs, you're a crystal now.
Well, no, not now. Like it,
Not
like that's
anymore,
how I was
apparently.
made. Is from the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
This crystal, like specifically, like I was made in this room. I think.
Yeah, we're all having a weird day.
Can you guys hear it? Can any
Hear
of them
what?
hear it?
Can we hear it?
So the crystal is emanating a song. However, aside from TimTam and now Emery, I need Redgirther, can you give me a wisdom saving throw? Vernon, you do not hear anything.
15.
15.
It says 16 on mine.
What? Yeah, I know. I made a separate type of roll for you because you were under different circumstances than Rathgurther is. Rathgurther, what instrument would you associate most with yourself?
That's a good question. I think the instrument that I have is a lyre.
It is.
So probably the lyre.
Is that what you think of when you try to remember your past?
No. I think of a jug. Blowing on a jug.
Blowing on a jug, huh?
Long nights at the tavern, you finish a jug and you then you start ooh, 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 ooh. Make music with your friends.
On a 15, you just barely fail to keep this sort of memory away.
I almost thought of something. Almost like Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
God fucking damn it!
I've never heard of that particular Jim Henson production.
Fuck you guys, I'm out.
And you realize that he's gone. He flee.
The moment of hesitation you saw when you asked, "What is that?" the instrument that you associate from your time alive wasn't me trying to think of something. It was me going, do I want to ruin this potentially nice moment with this bit?
Oh, this isn't going to be
And
nice.
the answer is yes, apparently.
Yes, yeah. I gave the intrusive thoughts 1 on that one.
No, it's perfectly fine. I think when Tim asks if you can hear the music, you at first think that honestly, your mind is just kind of like bringing up music from somewhere. You don't really understand. And then you realize that it is actually coming from the crystal. This quick jug pace, this sort of hollow sound. And you realize there's the sound of tavern voices, and the susurrus is kind of blending in to each other. And there is the slow buildup of the sound itself is almost making images, not in your mind as though you've been seeing recently with your reconnection of your memories. These are almost, you can almost reach out and touch them. As a table full of old friends drinking. The blowing on the jug happens over and over again. Every time the image changes, another blow. The images change to being on the road, another jug. Passing by a town called Red Larch, another jug. Heading into the Desperate Hills, another jug. Practicing your play with your best friend, another jug. Hunting in the forest for rabbits, another jug. The roar of a dragon, another jug. Screaming, another jug. You feel the soft, gentle tendrils of a creature older than time, trying desperately to pull you back together after you've been ripped apart. Another jug. At some point you realize this music isn't just the crystal, it's you. And every person in this room is resonating their own particular key. You're in a very unique place as a bard to understand this.
So is that a yes? You can hear it? You kind of zoned out there for a second.
What? Yes, I hear it. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Isn't it beautiful?
Well, I suppose.
Doesn't it like make you happy?
No. No, I must admit it rather doesn't. Bad memories.
You good?
Yeah, it's a lot. Just every time I think back to when I died, it's difficult.
Huh?
What?
Yeah, when I didn't tell you, I regained my memories.
What?
I think you left that part out.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
You just said that there was like some asshole you had to go hunt down. You didn't say it. You kind of
You're screaming it very loudly in the middle of a wrestling ring.
You know, I'm really trying to get better about this, but sometimes I can be a little walled off. So that's my B. That guy killed me, devastated my hometown. I was a different person back then, and I couldn't face it until quite recently. Then I became a mushroom.
As you do.
That's about the long and short of it.
That sounds like just the short of it.
Yeah,
Which-
I feel like there's
I'm
some
not.
details missing.
Yeah,
So-
that's...
I was in a performing in town, and a dragon attacked. There was this mysterious figure. I don't know what his motivation was, but I'm certain he was responsible. And when I track him down, I shall exact my vengeance for the innocent lives he took. I don't know how, pray tell, but upon death, I was woven back into existence as a living fungus.
But
Emery kind of looks down at her hands like, I guess I shouldn't complain.
Yes, like I'm not speaking in code. It's just, it is very strange.
Yeah,
yeah, I guess we really are just all kind of made of stuff, aren't we?
Yeah, but that's what makes us special.
Yes, none of us are truly human.
Well, yeah, no, I'm a
I
gnome.
mean, I was
It
an
wouldn't have
elf
been
before
anyway, but
this.
yeah.
Oh,
Literally, Vernon is the only person that seems like they could be human.
Poverty's nerfect.
That's right.
Real
Oh,
quick,
Vernon.
I assume I have like some sort of like a bag or a pouch or
You
something
do.
that I can put this fucking cue ball in.
Yes, absolutely.
It's grapefruit.
I'm just gonna like just try my best to scoop it up without touching it.
Are there bits of the other crystal? Are there like shards from where Emery like tried to
Oh,
smash it?
Oh yeah.
I want to take as much of it as I can.
Go ahead and scoop a bunch up.
Scoop the crystal. The crystal has been scooped.
Where are you gonna put them?
She wants to put it in her dog.
I want to
Oh,
put
you
it
know
in my
what?
dog, but I need
I
a good
think-
excuse to put it in my dog.
Well,
I
he's been
think
carrying
that what
around
we
all your
should do-
all your shit. So
I
I
have
mean,
a big old bag.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, but on the other hand, for science, we could always put it next to the mushroom.
For science.
Yes,
Me
I'm
or
sure
a
nothing
different
bad could
mushroom?
happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
sorry.
put
The
some of
other
it-
mushroom, the one that was growing out of my hand.
I'll put some of it in my bag, and I'll put some of it in Sparks. Open up your little easy bake
It's
flap.
like this belly torso.
Oh,
just
it makes
opens up.
noises
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and then yeah, there's a nice mushroom colony growing on what used to be Vernon's hand.
Ooh.
Fascinating.
Sparks, is this like? Do you feel safe putting this in your belly? Like, is that fine? I don't want it to like be like radioactive and kind of like mess up your stuff.
Yes, are we safe to put these hazardous materials close together?
The materials do not affect my matrix.
Really?
Yes, I am functional as a clean room.
Yeah, but
He's gotten more articulate lately.
oh yeah, he's just like he just keeps getting more and more sophisticated. I don't really question it.
That's probably the best way to go about it, honestly.
Feels like how we deal with a lot of things that happen to us.
you
I
just
think
put
it's
it
best
in a
not to
bag
think
and
about
forget
it.
about it.
Put it in a bag and forget about it, or put it in your
Mhm.
dog's belly and then forget about it.
Mm,
Not all of us have a dog.
mm.
No, all of us have this dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's gonna put some of the crystal in her bag and some of it in her
Mhm.
dog.
Perfect. Yeah. Sparks glows a little tiny bit. That's about it.
Like even the bits that have like been taken off the big chunk, does it like feel? Well, like can she feel something when she holds it? Like does it sort of like continue to resonate with her? Or
I think. Why don't you give me a little tiny Arcana check? A little one.
just a little baby Arcana check.
I mean, you are a little guy, so
Ooh, that is a dirty 20.
30-20. Yeah, I think. Especially when you pick them up, you feel a sort of like. It's like a little like tingle. It's you
Like when
have-
you like a battery type deal.
Yeah, a little bit. So
Mhm.
when you've helped your parents out with a bunch of stuff, so you've handled a bunch of like arcane nonsense in your life, and yeah, a lot of those will do the same sort of thing. You'll pick them up and you'll feel a sort of like transference of energy through you, like you're a conduit. This is a little different. It's like that, except it feels as though you picked up something that was a part of you and seeks to return. know
You
that
say
feeling?
that like that's a
Yeah.
common, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm,
you guys
mhm,
ever
mhm.
like walk down the street and pick up a penny? For those of you who are a little young, a penny is a little copper disc that we used to use. It was
Oh, they still have them in the States for
do
now.
they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They
God, you got
just announced they're
a
getting rid of
bunch
them, though.
of government spending. You guys got to cut. The
No, go on.
Tell us more about how the government needs to cut spending right now in the United States.
no, I'm
Very cool position.
Yep. Yeah. I'm on behalf of all Canadians. I apologize to the American people. The
It's okay. We
But
knew what we
yeah.
were doing.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's what it feels like. You know, that
Cool.
feeling.
Yeah, that very
Yeah.
normal feeling.
Yeah.
So Emery, you're just gonna hold on to the.
Well, I don't know what the fuck else to do with it. And she just kind of like holds up the like bag that's still kind of open. Just like, this just fucking came out of me. I didn't know that could happen. I
Do you
didn't.
think it's safe? Like,
Oh,
for
I have an
Probably
idea.
not, but I don't know what the fuck else to
I
do
mean,
with it.
the
I'm
worst
worried if I
part-
touch it, it's gonna go back in.
The worst part is every time you like open the bag or like show it off, it goes. When like you close the bag and it goes away, and you open it again, it goes. Like,
Yeah, can I
Oh.
try and glean anything from this crystal if I stare at it hard enough and like maybe try to feel some kind of connection? I think
Okay.
she's a little intimidated by it,
Yeah.
and she wants to know what the fuck it is.
I think Tim can cast Identify if you want that.
I'm gonna cast Identify with my fucking eyeballs, but you can do that too.
All right, Tim and Emery, I need you both to make me an intelligence saving throw. Vernon, what was your idea, Vernon? You were about to speak up for a minute before these ladies decided to like mess with a deeply potent magical crystal.
I was going to suggest that I could put it in the wrist dimension that I have, but then I looked at my new character sheet and I don't have the wrist dimension anymore. So
You
like
forgot to
I
put
don't
wrist
know what
pocket
to do
back
with
on?
that.
Yeah, that's
I
unfortunate.
think so. So
That's okay.
Does
We'll
this
get it back
count?
for you.
yeah.
Does this count as magic?
It does.
Okay, so I get advantage on saving throw
Sure.
against it.
Hey DM,
Yes.
you want to guess what number that was? Did I
Did
just
you
roll?
roll a 1?
No, I wouldn't
Emery?
do that.
Did you roll a 2, Emery?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Emery Black, Eldritch Knight,
Mhm.
intelligence-based fighter. What did you
Uh-huh.
roll?
3 with a +2, so it's a 5.
That's a 19 for Tim.
It's a 19.
All right, show off.
So Tim, I'm gonna do you first because
Huh.
I get to be more ominous in a second.
Oh, good.
The
I'm gonna run to the restroom while you're doing that.
she's gonna get it out now before I force it out with more ominous talking.
Okay, gross.
So Tim, you it's especially helpful because you have the other crystal to compare to.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so you look at them and with a 19 on your saving throw, you hold to your mind enough, and you can feel, in fact, the fact that these things together, especially the anathema crystal, is something rather fundamental to the creation of reality itself. Your understanding that there is the crystal that you are seeing is sort of like the only way your mind can really comprehend what it is, and so it looks like a little round crystal. If that makes any sense, right? This is what you understand by being able to hold your mind together with a 19.
Okay.
Right. That gives you a couple of theories, I am sure. But in terms of investigation, you understand that this thing only has a material form when it is being observed.
Okay.
Fun shit.
Fun shit.
It's some sort of Fraggle Rock.
I swear to fucking good.
Oh god damn it, Nappa! No one's going to get that reference.
That is a good DBZ abridged Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
You
Thank
nailed
you.
that.
It's much better than my talent.
What's your talent?
I do the voice of the greatest president who's ever lived and the most humble person in
see-
the entire world.
He
Man.
does. It's actually very good.
Wild.
See,
Thank
I
you,
thought
I
you were
do
gonna
very
make
much
some joke about
appreciate
how
it.
good you are making out with your landlord.
Well, you know, that's how you do it. You're a real estate mogul for so long. You get very good at
Goodness.
negotiating with landlords.
I'm putting a moratorium
Sometimes
on
you have
that
to use tongue,
right
other
now.
times you don't.
Nah. We don't trade
They
with
do it a
that
little
here.
different in China.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right, that's enough of that.
Emery,
Yes.
buddy.
Yes.
Oh, bud.
No, we were just talking about that earlier. We're bringing everything back. I said this was gonna happen. We talked about all this shit while we were waiting for everybody to gather in the room, and we were like, "Oh, we're just gonna like sit here and we're gonna shoot the shit for a while, and then all these jokes are gonna be made again
Also,
once we're actually
if I could just
recording."
point
and
out, Buddy
what reference
is
are you about
a
to make?
Buddy is a 1997 film which the Jim Henson shop did the Phantom, the creature effects for. So just
Jay, what does this fucking crystal do to me?
It turns you into a little muppet. No. All right. Let's see here.
So fucking pleased with
What
yourself.
does Emery think of death?
What a cool question. Thanks.
No worries.
I think for a while she saw it as something inevitable, but not in the death comes for us all kind of way. She, I think, up until very recently, was kind of not content, but she had kind of accepted the idea that she might go down with her as part of her revenge. It's like, if I die, I'm taking all these bastards with me, type of thing. But I think that now that she's gotten her sister back and she's gotten some shreds of her family back, she now, I think, is more hesitant to see it as some sort of inevitability because she values these people and these connections, and she was separated from them for a long time. But I think she's kind of coming back on it a little bit, to the point where now I think she does fear for her life more than she would have originally at the start of this campaign.
So it's fear.
I would say it's a fragment of that, yeah.
See. That's unfortunate.
I gotta speak my truth, though, is the thing. Because I think it's less fear for her own safety and fear that it would upset other people if she died at this point. Mostly her sister. She doesn't want to leave her sister alone. Again.
Let's talk.
Oh, good.
Your mind slips deeper into the crystal, past the bubbling event horizon of the glow of it, red and black. So unfocused, your mind wanders to those thoughts, the idea that suddenly you have people who would miss you should you die. For half a second, you get a glimpse of something enormous. The same thought, but on a grander scale. What would happen to the universe if it were to slowly die? This isn't the first time you've heard this particular concept. I think someone mentioned something like it ominously earlier in the campaign. the idea that the universe is slowly collapsing on itself. You get the idea that Anathema's job is to do that. It is a force of that sort of nature. And that is a pondering, slow thing. But on a 3,
It's a 5 total.
5 total, you get to know one secret. One thing that has died from your mind. What would you like to know?
Oh shit. What happened to my mother?
Oh. You're communing with a force of nature, something that specifically is about the end of reality. And so all things that end must slowly tie into this force in some way, and the crystal especially is marked by the need to attach to mortals who feel particularly strongly about destruction. In so doing, the first thing you understand is you actually know the answer to this. The mirror told you. Or at least part of it. And then you forgot it again. Which has to piss you off at least a little bit. The second answer is that the thing that you and everyone believes about your mother, that she died in an accident shortly after your sister was born, is wrong. Fabrication. You see in images that flash across your vision. Once again, very similar to what Rathgother just went through. These aren't things in your mind. They're things that are very tangible in front of you. You see a brusque-looking woman with a very tightly done hairstyle. Dark skin, very sharp features, reminding you very much of your sister, actually. She wears the clothing of a lady of the Waterdavian courts. You see her making trips into the city. Just her. Maybe a bodyguard. She goes into alleyways, into shops, places marked with Zentarum runes. Makes handoffs, receives trade backs. He's building a network of spies and informants. You see her having arguments with your father. He's not being ambitious enough. He decides to take things into her own hands. She makes moves, plays. She gets a little ahead of herself. Waterdavian nobles have deep pockets and good spies, and at some point she slips up. And even though what she was doing, she was attempting to raise the fortunes of your family even higher than a masked lord, it did not help your family. Any thoughts of your father becoming the next open lord of Waterdeep are immediately cast aside. And your mother, who normally would be put to death for such treason, was offered a different way thanks to the pleading of your father. You see an elderly wizard carrying a big black staff, symbol of office. He's waving his hands over your mother and casting a spell. Not modify memory. It's deeper than that. He with a crystal in his hand of dark red, a chunk of anathema. Uses it to not only change the fate of the world according to your mother, he destroys the very memory of her. No one knows who your mother is, including her. The visions fade here, but the last thing you see is her being left by the side of the road near a cart, leaving for anywhere. They don't care. She doesn't know who she is. Your family doesn't know who she is. And a new memory is put in place. And that's all you see.
Okay. She shuts the bag.
Oh, I was looking at that.
Good call.
I think I just saw something I wasn't supposed to.
Why does everybody else get like cool visions? She just like stares really hard at the crystal, at the
Your
the
wonderful
purple
gnomish
crystal.
mind begins summoning up like ideas about what you could do with it and the many different toys you could make with an anathema crystal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What did you see something cool too? What did you see?
I saw my mom.
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought, didn't you say that something happened to your mom?
I don't think it was like I thought it was.
That sounds less cool.
That
Um,
is
Like in
the
a good way
byword
or
of this
like in a
entire
bad way?
campaign. That sounds less cool.
Hey, how much longer do you think we're going to be down here?
I mean, probably not super long. Found what I was looking for, I think.
Are we doing anything with this? And she gestures to the big pink crystal behind him.
I mean, I've taken a bunch of samples. Well, I mean, do you want some?
I don't know if that's a good idea.
You could look around
She's
for
just-
anything left if you wish. I don't think you got a good opportunity to look around this room before something bad happened.
Oh yeah, no. I think because she just like immediately was like, "Ooh, big glowing
Big
rock."
shiny. I think Emery's going to take like whatever burlap sack that she has the crystal in, and she's just going to like wrap it up really tight and just shove it into the bottom of like whatever bag that she has, like underneath all the rest of her shit.
Right.
So I think that Vernon, seeing a shiny rock, is going to pick up what he can, and just kind of put them in his pocket because he figures, oh, maybe I can sell these later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Otherwise, yeah, I think he's still going to do the same kind of thing, just kind of looking around the room, seeing if there's anything he can take with him that might be worth something, or
Also, we are
worthwhile
looking
to
for,
have later on.
key, like a key
Oh.
card type thing. Tim will describe.
Oh, why didn't you say so?
Yeah, whatever the like key card. I think it was like a card for the like room, the locked room at the front of the lab.
Yeah.
That they have not found yet. So presumably it's in.
Well, yeah, whoever
this
would like to
room.
look can make me an investigation or a perception check. Up to you
Oh,
entirely.
damn.
Ooh,
Yeah.
14.
14.
So that is a 25 perception.
Unless Sparks is helping, in which case
Mhm.
that's a 12. So 14.
14. With a 14, I think, Tim, you definitely find the card in question. It is indeed, it's like this little metal thing with like a rune on it. And it looks like it's enchanted to be able to like fit together with something and open up something. Looks to be the right card you're looking for. On a 25, Vernon, you're looking around this table with a crystal on it. And it looks like it was a very private work table.
Hmm.
You're looking around, and you see this little like notch that looks conspicuously out of place. And of course, being Vernon, you just stick your finger right in it. You're just boop.
Yeah.
right? It's even
What
like
does this
glowing
button
a little
do?
tiny bit. Like it could not be more clear that you should probably be more careful with this thing. You go,
Did you just make that decision for him? Because if so, what a time saver.
yeah.
Listen, well, I have to think about whether I want to press the button or not to press the button. And no, you're right.
There's no question if there's a like
button.
Yeah.
I know Ron so well that I created a dramatic army of Macho Man Randy Savage, and he loved it just like I knew he would. So,
no spoilers, but they came in handy later on.
Oh my fucking god! Thursday game was fucking wild yesterday.
Team Helm's Deep, you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you push it, and surprisingly, nothing bad happens. But you do hear a sharp clunk, and Tim, while you're looking at where you're looking at, a little slot opens up next to you. It was obviously a mechanism that your parents had for hiding something.
My parents wouldn't hide anything. She
What are
says
you
in the
talking
hidden
about?
laboratory.
Yeah.
They're hiding themselves right now.
They're open
That's-
books,
what?
really.
Yeah. Listen.
So what?
Well, clearly they hid this.
It is a there's a rather ornate rod that you know your parents didn't make themselves, but have acquired somehow, and a set of instructions written in Gnomish.
Okay, what is?
It simply says, as insurance, wave if he gets tetchy.
Okay. Can I guess while everybody else is doing whatever, can I again ritual cast identify on this to figure out what the fuck it is? Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah. Well, most of your party is disassociating in the corner, and Vernon is going around pressing random buttons. You go ahead and cast identify.
Yep.
This is a very specifically keyed rod of banishment.
Ooh.
It is keyed very again, very specifically towards some sort of celestial. You're not sure what, because obviously you haven't met this celestial yet. But that's why the rod itself is made out of upper planar gold, which is obviously something your parents would not have in ready access. You're pretty sure this rod will not work on anybody but the being that is keyed to.
All right. Well, less useful.
Oh, look, this button says T.
No.
Well,
Somewhere
this
tea is
doesn't
being
seem
brewed.
super useful, but I guess Sparks, you can hold on to this. I assume that it's for the person that they were working for. Is my assumption, but I don't know for sure.
That is an astute hypothesis, Mother.
Yeah, I was also going to say it was an astute hypothesis.
Yeah, you can like maybe tone it down like a little bit. I don't want people to think that you're like too pretentious.
See, that's the problem. You shouldn't have installed the dictionary.
That was a radical postulation.
Radical's good. I don't know that postulation is the best. You can just say that was a great idea.
I had a postulation once growing off of my buttocks.
What?
What?
I think Emery was like spacing out, and then that's where she chose to come back into the conversation.
I do not know what to do with that information. Delete it.
Oh, it's simple. You can just kind of freeze it off.
All right.
I said delete it.
So yeah, she's gonna put the special rod of banishment into Sparks's belly compartment. Because that's just where who needs a bag of holding when you have a dog?
As the saying goes.
Vernon, have you checked everything out that you wanted to?
I've pressed all the buttons except for the T one, and I don't really see anything else.
Like a series of more and more wild looking objects are like popping up and spinning and rotating around and like causing lights and making noises. There's a kazoo for some reason. We're not sure why. It's
Oh, I'm gonna take
It was her
that. That
dad's
seems like
favorite
it could be
instrument.
fun.
that's right. Yeah. It's
Oh, I'm gonna have to remember to wipe it
is
off.
the cultural instrument of the gnomes.
Yeah.
Well, then I will take this for anthropological purposes, and definitely not for anything else. Not for my own amusement at all.
Well, I think that's it. We can show you guys because you sort of like popped in right at the end. This is sort of like the last room of this place, so we can like walk back through the rest of it with you and show you like all the cool stuff.
I do love a good reverse tour.
That is
Yeah.
that is a route.
Yes. Let us go find the front door so that we may leave through the gift shop.
Unless anyone else has anything to do in this room, you very easily get back to the front. Vernon and Rathgurther, you're treated to an older laboratory made of some sort of like coppered steel, and then a much newer one made of some sort of like synthetic material that you've never seen before. It's a little bit like the tougher leather that people sometimes put on the bottom of their shoes, but it's not quite the same.
I'm going to use prestidigitation a whole bunch during this tour to emulate flash photography.
Tourists.
Why I don't understand.
I just think they're neat.
Flashing lights?
Well, the things around it's a reference you
Is this
wouldn't
something
understand.
that like your crab told you about?
Yes, it's a thing from the Mirror of Dead Men. You wouldn't get it.
Oh, okay.
Are you
Swamp lights is what
experiencing
we call
some sort
them.
of Muppet madness?
Not even gonna. Nope. Nope.
Well, now that you mention it, I am a little bit. I feel tempted to yell weird things and hit drums. So perhaps, but that might just be my animal communication spell.
I think Tim is gonna go unlock the room that you got the key for.
Excellent. Tim, you wander to the door. And place the card. There is the sound of a heavy klaxon. And the hiss that lets you know that this room had been sealed. Lights begin to pop on. You walk in.
Mm-hmm.
You see 2 rows of glass tanks. Each one attached to one of the runic articulators that you had designed yourself, your parents, and filled with some sort of what appears to be amniotic fluid. Inside each is a little grapefruit-sized ball of meat, as far as you can tell.
Ew.
Ew.
It's a little difficult to tell, but each one appears to be a baby stuck at a particular part of development and held there in stasis.
That is a spicy meatball.
I think these are my siblings or children. I don't really know at this point. I think she's just gonna like go up to I guess, the closest one and just kind of like put her hand up on the glass.
Can you roll me your spell attack?
No, no.
What the fuck?
Oh.
What do you mean, what the fuck?
Oh, 26.
Wow,
Spell
that's
attack.
really strong.
I rolled an 18 plus 8.
Tim, you walk up and place your hand on the tank. And you feel something you haven't felt since the very beginning of our adventure almost. Spreading out from you in a big wave is a burst of energy with just a little tinge of music. Unbeknownst to you, this is exactly what happened when you created sparks. The little ball inside moves. You have awakened whatever it is.
Just the one or all of them?
Just the one.
Oh. I think she sort of like glances around like, what do I do with this?
Emery just like shrugs.
I mean, none of the other ones are moving, so... Sparks, can you do a scan and see if... Well, can you see if any of them are alive and check this one's, like, vital signs?
Right on, dude.
Yeah, okay, I think we need to maybe, like, tone that back a little bit. Like, not quite so, like, informal. I mean, honestly, whatever your heart tells you. I'm not gonna police your language. You can do whatever you want.
I'm glad you nipped that in the bud now, because if you implemented the Broger dictionary longer, then it might have done some irreparable damage.
I kind of liked his chill party.
Sparks, just nods. Chill party vibe. He's the party dog now. He walks up and he begins scanning up and down the row of each of them.
Scans complete. 7 individuals in rough stasis. Last edition of a clone spell repeated 7 times. 1 individual out of stasis, growing past clone spell boundaries.
Growing past the clone spell boundaries?
Yes.
It's probably you.
Yeah, what? No, it's the one that I woke up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What does that... Would Tim understand what that means?
So yeah, roughly. The clone spell is a very common thing that higher level wizards tend to do as sort of like a backup for themselves. If they were to ever die, then they would be transferred into one of these bodies, essentially. Right? And having more than one isn't a terrible way to do things. It's a little difficult because making even one of these is a feat in and of itself. However, having one wake up before the individual in question perishes and their soul gets transferred into this backup is weird. And it looks as though everything in this lab was made in an attempt to be able to do that. But they haven't for whatever reason. Not for these, anyway.
What is... Who are these clones of? Is it Mom and Dad, or is it... Is it me?
That was kind of my first thought.
Sparks, can you tell?
Data suggests genetic material 100% match with TimTam.
Oh. Oh, so they're like my twins. Oh my goodness, we're octuplets. Oh, well, I guess, right, I mean, right now there's really just one out of stasis, so I guess it is just twins. So it's out of stasis. So will it just keep growing?
If left to its own devices, the new being will grow fully grown inside of the next month. Without an extra functional key given at the right moment, the vat will declare it to be an unviable clone and will destroy it.
Oh. Is there a way that we could keep it safe if we took it out of there?
Yes.
Hey.
How okay, how do we do that?
Sparks points his face back towards the runic panel next to the vat, opens his mouth, a little tiny thing comes out of it, and he casts Disintegrate on the panel.
What the fuck?
Okay, Xenomorph.
Oh, see, I was thinking more like an R2D2, like it's his little
It's a
thingy that
little
he
zap.
sticks in the
Yeah.
Cast Disintegrate on it.
Turns it into an ashy puddle.
Okay, so what did that do?
Yeah, what now what?
Now, the creature will grow to full grown and will remain in stasis until released.
Cool.
Is it
But-
like...
Hey, did we all know the
Conscious?
dog could disintegrate things?
No, again, this is one of those things
This
we're
is
just
news
putting
to
it
me.
we're putting it in the back and tucking
Not
it away for
done.
later.
The
Mm.
dog
Also
just
not a
keeps getting new functions. At this point, I've stopped being surprised.
But the dog
Yeah,
didn't
and-
know the dog could do this.
I'm sorry, Sparks. You just said something pretty interesting. You said you're not a dog.
Oh yeah, he's not a dog.
No.
First of all, he's an automaton. Second of all, he's also a god. So like neither one of those is dog.
Wait,
Oh,
when
you're
did
a
the
god now.
thing happen?
Dog is God backwards.
That's true. We're all learning about letters.
Thought you couldn't read.
Like
We are teaching our friend Rathgirther to read little
That's
by
the
little.
first word.
Well, so okay, the god
Dog
thing,
and God, yes.
the god thing, like that's we can talk about it later. I thought that I told you all about this in the Feywild. It's like a
You
whole
are all
thing.
partially incorrect. My designation is Goodborn.
That is true.
all right.
He sits and he like wags his little tail.
Okay, so like are we just like leaving it? I don't
I mean, I
She,
don't know
like-
if we can take it with us, and she
just
gestured
sort of,
to the
like,
fact that it's a giant tube.
she hugs the tube. I don't want to leave it.
Wait, but
mean-
wait, can we put it inside of Sparks?
It's a little big for
Don't
that.
think so.
I don't know. We've fit many different things inside of the carapace.
Don't put the baby in the dog. That's a bad idea. That's
I don't know. We could put it in next to the mushroom and the soul
that's an
hole.
even
and-
worse idea. That's
What if okay, I'm doing some like quick calculations. What if we could we use this crystal to speed up the process?
Ooh, that's an interesting.
I mean, I guess it's your game of baseball, but
This hasn't I don't understand what that means.
we're not playing baseball anymore. We're playing
I don't know
tinball.
what
You
base-
do whatever you want, I guess.
Okay.
Do it or don't.
You're suggesting that you grow this creature until it becomes Timothy Tumothy?
Yeah. What would we do with the second TimTam?
Don't you all go past that. That was a great joke.
Pat yourself on the back, because no one else is going to.
Yeah.
Twin Tam.
Twin
Yes,
Tam.
yes.
Oh,
It took me a minute, but I got there. Yeah, is because like I don't want to leave it because I don't know if we'll be back here by the time it's grown, and I don't want to just like leave it in there because then what if it grows up and it's lonely?
Is it like?
I mean, you turned out
aware?
okay.
Is it
No, I didn't.
Really?
front of the tank?
The creature should not gain consciousness until placed out of stasis.
but I thought this one wasn't in stasis, or is it?
It's in partial state. It's out of stasis, growing past clone spell boundaries. Yeah, you did say out of stasis. Were you wrong? It's okay if you. It's good to.
I've never been wrong before.
Oh no!
And the dog has an existential crisis.
Oh no!
It's okay. It happens to everybody. Not me, but everybody else.
The general idea is that it won't regain consciousness until you take it out of the tube.
In that case, I think it should be fine to leave.
I don't want to leave it.
It's like sleeping right now. If I got up and left and went on a whole adventure while you were sleeping and then came back, you wouldn't know about it. So this thing won't know that we are going to leave it here, and it won't be aware until we come back for it, is what it sounds like.
Oh, we could put a portal down somehow and come back here when we're ready to check in on it.
I mean, we know where it is. We can always just come back to the actual location.
Yes, that's true, but it's also less interesting. You can't go wrong that way.
Did you guys ever? Did your parents ever like go out and like go shopping or like go into town while you were asleep, and then they came back before you woke up?
I mean, if they did, I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, but have they done that and then they like told you, or you like saw like evidence that they did that, and it's like have you ever had that happen to you?
Not that I can remember, but also, Tim, we aren't this thing's parents. It's not even going to know that we exist unless we come back for it.
We can't just not come back for it.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, it's not going to notice that we were gone until it's...
Don't talk about it like it's not a person.
Well, then what would you... I'm just... How do you want me to refer to it? I mean, it's a...
Tim has just, like, immediately pack bonded with this twin.
I noticed.
All right, let me relearn how to get a wrist dimension, and then we'll just put it in there.
Again, I don't think we can take it out of the tube. I feel like that would be, like, a whole thing.
When we come back for it, when we tell them that we left while they were growing, it's going to be so sad.
I don't think it's gonna know.
We could just lie to it. It's a child.
You can't. She just like is like breaking down. Like
a crab learns a new thing. You can lie to children.
Okay, Tim, listen. I know you made the analogy of like your parents leaving and then coming back while you were asleep. I think a more appropriate analogy is your parents were alive and did stuff without you before you were born, and getting upset about that seems a little irrational.
Well, I guess, like, when does life begin?
When we let it out of the tube. It doesn't know it.
The official stance of the show.
Because, I mean... It's not cognizant. We don't.
You don't know. Can Tim like? I don't want to cast like a damaging spell, but can I do some sort of like, just something to like?
Oh, we lost Mildred.
Get a sense of whether it like responds to stimuli.
You could.
I mean, I tried waving my hand in front of it already, and it didn't do anything.
Just because.
Sorry.
Okay, it can't see. That doesn't mean that it doesn't respond to stimuli.
TimTam,
Yes.
I was saying this earlier, but you couldn't hear because of my webcam being off. But
It's a webcam.
It's I don't even know.
It's just like
the word
baseball.
just came to me as though in a fever.
I keep just making up these words today.
If you wish to keep vigil over this dream child, then I will join you.
Wait, you just stay here for a month?
Yes, if that is what it takes. I think that TimTam has, in the past, been very supportive of things that we require, and if this is something that's important to her, then I will see it through to its conclusion.
You're a good friend, Rathger.
Tim just starts crying. I'm
What? Why did that make you sad? I don't understand.
I'm just really like emotionally delicate right now because I've learned all of this stuff about my parents, and now I have a twin.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on, and you know.
I don't.
It's a little loud, Jay.
Your dog has become a god. You know, it's a lot to deal with, especially at your age.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Also, yeah, like I don't know how old you are because of the like. Did becoming a mushroom sort of like reset your age? How does that work?
Well, I think I'm some sort of immortal being that is passed on through symbiosis of some kind, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure, right.
Listen, hey. Those 2 automatons are still upstairs. We could leave them in charge.
That is a great idea, actually.
Because that way we wouldn't be stuck here. I'm not trying to dismiss that you just found out you have a twin in a vat. Like, yeah, that's a big deal, but I feel like, you know, there's other stuff that would involve us not sitting here for a whole month, you know?
Yeah. You have to promise me that
Besides,
we'll come back for it.
We will. We will.
They're a person. Even if they're just like a little meat potato right now, they're still a person.
We were all meat potatoes once.
We were all meat potatoes once.
I think I fell out of a black hole.
Yes,
I
I'm
don't
also
know the
speaking
origins of
rhetorically.
my-
I'm a fungus, but
I don't know what the fuck happened with Vernon.
Deeply touching moment where the party kind of bands together and tells Tim that it's okay and they'll do what she needs to go on with. And then everyone's like, meat potatoes. I fell out of a black hole. Vernon's like, I have no idea where I came from.
I think crabs come out of eggs.
I think that it's a good idea to leave them with Weebles and Woobles. I mean, Weebles and Woobles kind of raised me, and like I turned out fine.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
That was another thing I was gonna say. You spent, I think, far enough too much time here already.
What does that mean?
You said I thought you hated this place.
Oh yeah, I mean I do.
And yet you want to just like camp here for a month? A month is a long time.
It's different.
would you
being
do
here
any
by
different for your
yourself.
sister?
Listen.
Damn.
My sister can come with me if I want her to.
But if she
not their
required
fault,
you,
they're in a vat.
I
If
didn't
she
say
required
it
this
was.
of
I'm
you.
saying it's apples and oranges.
No, we specifically said it's meat potato.
it's meat and
Oh my
potatoes.
God.
And that's final.
Okay, fine. It's a meat potato.
Well, the thing is, I just don't want them to be by themselves.
Well, they
I
won't
don't-
be. You've got the automatons there, and then we can, maybe Sparks can figure out a way that as soon as it's ready to come out of the tube, I guess, then we can come back and deal with it.
Yes, do we have that information?
Deal
Sparks?
with it.
Oh, I destroyed the panel.
Ooh.
Well, you said about a
that's-
month,
yes.
right? We could just come back here in a month. And break him out of stasis.
No, it's
You don't got a mending spell in there somewhere?
Well, that's not really how mending works. Sparks, it's okay.
Sure it is.
It's
You just-
we'll come back in 3.5 weeks.
I think 4
Each
and a half.
month has 3 weeks in this setting.
Sure. Or so that we don't have to worry about like actual like timeline logistics. We can just ask Weebles and Woobles, because I'm sure that they can like cast sending and like talk to us and stuff. They might even have like sending stones that we could use. Anyway, I think they could keep an eye on them and then, you know, let us know when they're ready to when they're all
Stasis.
baked.
Continuing the meat and potatoes allegory, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they've reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, then you know they're safe.
Thank you.
That is not actually recommended for gnome children.
Oh, I don't. Well, I don't. I'm just. Anyway.
It was a metaphor
Yes.
or simile. I don't know. I'm not a reader.
Oh no, it's spreading.
Listen, I promise we will come back when it's time. All right?
Okay.
But I mean, your parents are still out there. We could ask them what the hell is up with this thing if we wanted to find them. We've all got
there's
stuff.
a great deal I wish to ask them.
Yeah, I don't want them to raise the twin Tam.
And they won't. If they try, I'll kick their asses. Does that make you feel better?
Yes.
Makes
It would
me feel
probably be
better.
like super easy to beat them up. They're kind of like just a couple of nerds, and they're little. Like they're smaller than me.
Yeah. Listen, Tim, I've already kind of decided I want to beat your parents up as soon as we find them. So it's another reason we got to go find them and not sit here for a month.
I put my hand on your shoulder and I look you in the eye and I say, "We'll all beat your parents up, TimTam."
Yes, together.
Behind the Denny's.
As a family. Does that make you feel any better, bud?
Actually, it does. Like, and I feel like kind of bad about it. Like, I feel like I shouldn't wish like violence on my parents, but like they did kind of. They like kind of were bad.
I put my hand on TimTam's other shoulder and I look her deep into the eyes and I go, "Give into that vengeance. It feels real good sometimes. All right, let's get out of this fucking lab."
I hope the crab didn't hear that.
She just one last time puts her hand on the glass. Says like, "I won't forget you, little meat potato." And gives it a little tap and then leaves.
I kind of whispered
Oh,
to
it's
Rat Girther
hungry.
as we're on our way out. You think she's going to want to wake up the rest of them too?
I don't know, but if it comes to that,
We're going to have 8 TimTams running around. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's a lot of mouth to feed.
perhaps, but she's a resourceful child and it might help her feel less
Sure.
alone.
Having an army of clones.
I mean, how less alone could one be?
You could have 10 clones. Then you'd be less alone, just like in general, because there would be one more of you.
I don't think we have to yet worry about there being a limit placed on the amount of clones.
What would you do with 50 TimTams? That's so many. We do not have enough rooms at my uncle's manor for that many TimTams.
That's your uncle's manor, though. In your regular family holdings, you absolutely do.
Yeah, but we can't go to those. We're in hiding.
So,
Like, listen, I already have enough trouble with just keeping the 3 of y'all intact. I don't know what
Look,
I would
once
do
we
with
get all
like
this
8 more
settled-
TimTams on top of this group. I'd have to put
However
leashes
many
on all-
TimTams we end up with, we'll manage. We always do.
Oh, sure. Well, right now we've managed just until 1. Don't speak too soon. There's going to be logistics involved with suddenly having multiple Timothys running around.
Think about how many dogs they could make.
Okay, so now
Oh
we have
my goodness.
multiple Timothys, and do you think that every TimTam has the potential to create a Sparks? And do you think that they would, or do you think they'd make like other animals?
Interesting question. Nature versus nurture, isn't it?
Maybe that's why our parents wanted to make so many clones.
Infinite dogs. Infinite dog glitch discovered.
But I mean, like, what if they don't all make dogs? What if we like put each of them in like slightly separate environments? And what if like one of them never sees a picture of a dog, doesn't even know what a dog is? What kind of animal Sparks would they make?
God,
You're blowing my mind here.
the Power
Yeah, I
Rangers.
know.
And here's
theme
another
song
one.
starts.
If when you see green, how do you know you're seeing the same color that I'm seeing?
You don't is the thing. How do we like what if they try to make a Sparks but they've never seen a dog before? What if they make like a fucking lobster or some shit?
A crab.
Like a lobster robot. It's not a crab, it's a lobster. Different. What if one of them makes like an elephant or something? and then we just have like a whole herd of like animatronic or not animatronic, like robot animals.
Yes,
See,
there are many pitfalls.
Weebles and Weebles.
We're just like
How's
muttering
this
to
game
each other as
again?
we're walking out of the lab.
As you walk out of the lab and begin talking to Weebles and Woobles, who have trays upon trays of cookies that Henry is desperately trying to finish,
Why was I not informed about the cookies?
They're
Oh,
trying to
they're
make
real
the
bad.
cookies work
They're
properly.
really, really
yeah,
bad.
No,
You know, I can be a
no,
bit of a
Rathgirth
cookie
will still eat-
monster.
I literally watched this woman eat a handful of flour. She will eat the fucking cookies. Go,
Woobles is
Rathgirth,
like, "That's
do it.
perfect. I made these with a handful of flour." Once you are out of that laboratory and the protections thereof, Vernon, you get a
Shit.
little tingle at the back of your neck that tells you that someone is trying to message you.
Oh,
Hmm.
crab calling.
Moshi moshi.
Crab dis.
Crab dance.
Ahoy hoy.
Vernon, where have you been? It's been weeks. This is the first time you've been close enough to Loudwater for me to contact you.
We've been all over the place. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it in a short time, but we've been just about everywhere.
I'm aware
Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto,
you're babbling.
everywhere.
Come and see me at Loudwater at your nearest convenience. Do it inconveniently if you must. There are things to discuss. Bring your friends if you have to. Remember, I'm your grandmother.
Vernon's in trouble.
All right. Well, I do have to pick up some scarves on the way, so we'll see each other shortly, and then we will discuss whatever it is needs discussing.
Don't be late.
Hello? Oh, you're still there. Okay, thank goodness.
Click.
Now, what I'd like to talk about next is hello? Hello?
Vernon begins talking to the ceiling for a minute. And we're going to pull back from this scene as we leave this here. Rathgirther obviously unable to stop herself from shoveling fistfuls of horrible cookies into her mouth. And Henry giving her a look of extreme appreciation as these cookies are not good.
I want it made clear that she is capable of stopping herself. She merely chooses not to.
Oh, fair. Very fair. Apologies. They taste a lot like flour and baking soda.
And that's what
and
she
one of them
likes
tastes like
about.
vinegar for some reason.
Ooh.
Unbeknownst to you characters, but knownst to all of you, back in the laboratory room with the crystal, smell of autumn leaves is still kind of fading. There are a couple of twigs on the ground that came through with Rathgirther. They immediately begin rooting and squirming under the deck plating.
Gross.
And deep in that greenish star field of orange and green fire, the face made of bracken smiles. The woman attached to it, stuck in her prison.
One more key. Spread by bracken.
And that is where we're going to end What's Left of Us for this week.
Well, that's a real fantastic Miss Piggy show if I've ever seen one.
All right. We do a show here.
We do a show here.
Yeah.
Folks, do not go anywhere. We are about to take a little tiny break. If you have been watching us for 2 whole hours, we didn't take our customary break today. You deserve to get up and stand around and get some drinks and get some snacks and stuff. We're only going to be gone for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to come back and we're going to answer all your questions. All your questions. All of them. Every single one of them. So please, come back. in about 5 minutes. Don't go too far, and we'll see you then. And we're back. Welcome back. Table talk. Hold on. I have something for this.
Oh God.
No.
I've missed this so much.
I'm issuing a veto.
You're issuing a veto.
Correct.
What am I going to use? Oh,
Nothing.
no, that might toast the VOD. I could.
I've had that fucking punk rock number from yesterday's session stuck in my head since yesterday.
True. That's true. Oh, you know what? I'll just do the easy, slow,
There you
ominous
go.
music. There you go.
Oh, now,
all right.
this is giving a vibe to the sesh.
I mean, this is an appropriate vibe for this particular session, right?
I mean, we got the Queen of Thorns running around or whatever. We got Tomas still running around doing whatever, and now we've forgotten about him apparently.
Who could say?
You know,
You're very
Can
far
I just-
from him at the moment. Yeah.
Can I just say it's the most J-coded plot device that you introduced a rock that induces sad memories.
So
it's similar
I
to the
saw-
ball that I invented
s-
before.
I saw this movie where they go to a beach that makes you old, and then I was like, I could use this plot device, but I want it more portable. Whatever could I do? And
What if rock that makes you sad?
What if rock that makes you sad? And so, sad rock was born. Yes. So this is the part of our questions, our day where we answer questions. Listen, it's been a moment. We sit on this couch together and we answer all of your questions. And some of you may notice, the people in chat have already caught on because I've been doing this for a while. You write question in big bold letters, and I will do my best to find and answer those questions, or one of the people on this couch, obviously. And we can also, of course, ask each other questions. And that is how we're going to get through this next half hour or so, probably a little less. So, with that in mind, we do have a bunch of questions already, but does anyone on the couch have any questions?
What other robot animals would the TimTam army make?
That is various.
We need to
twin
know
tams
this.
Would
The
know,
various
would know
twin
this.
tams.
Yeah.
I think that they would all make dogs, but they would just be different breeds of dog.
Ooh. Okami code.
Like we were just talking about Irish setters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think like a pug. Obviously, like one of them has to be a pug. A lot of the like big dogs, but also to TimTam, like most dogs are big dogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Will one of the twin tams make like a fucking cocker spaniel or something, or like the
I mean,
itty bitty-
yeah.
like a Pomeranian? I want the I want the Pomeranian Sparks.
like a little.
There has to
what
be
is
a
it?
Robo Chowini.
Yes.
I actually do unironically like Pomeranians. They're just little fluffs.
cute.
They're so little.
I think people have an unfair prejudice against little yappy dogs. I like little yappy dogs.
Me too. Me too.
I just like the Pomeranians. They're so round.
My mother used to get nothing but Lapsapsos and Shih Tzus, and or combinations of those. And then one day she got herself a teacup poodle. And I gotta tell you, that dog was smart. I don't think I've had a smarter dog than those teacup
Yeah,
poodles.
poodles are smart.
Mhm.
Like poodles are smart dogs.
They're hypoallergenic.
They are hypoallergenic, right? They're nice. Very nice.
We have to create a hypoallergenic Sparks McBarks.
All sparks are hypoallergenic
I
because
was
they're
gonna
made of
say it's
metal.
metal.
What if you're allergic to metal?
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
account for
allergic
that,
to
did you,
nickel.
Zoe?
That is a type of metal.
Let's take one question from the audience. Sarapa. IDK is asking, when are they going to take the long break promised in last episode? Last episode, incidentally, I promised, at least I espoused, I believe, that I wanted to find a way for you folks to take a couple of, like, an actual rest as a group of people, because you've all been adventuring for so long, and we originally had this rule where, like, you couldn't level up properly without a long rest, or pardon me, without a downtime piece of downtime. And you guys have kind of been go since Valasso, understandably. And so
The last
I
time we're
was
like the last go.
Well, no, we haven't because we spent a couple weeks in the swamp after Valasso.
That's true.
Yeah, we
spend
did.
time there.
And then we spent like a week at my uncle's cabin.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, true. True.
We've gotten downtime.
We've gotten some downtime. So we're probably going to take another one soon-ish, I imagine, whenever the characters think it's a good idea. There was a good opportunity to have about a month off here, but Emery doesn't like children, and so that's just...
What are we gonna do sitting in a lab for a month? We've got other shit to do.
Level up? For what?
We could do science.
Level up. Could take a trip to Loudwater. It's less than a day away.
Emery
didn't even
just
tell
got her sister
them
back.
about the vending machine.
Well, I thought it was the vending
Yeah, I
machine.
noticed the vending machine in the corner. I was like, oh, I should go over there and eat something.
Know
But
about the vending machine.
There's a machine
That's
that has
honestly
that
probably for
tests
the best.
create food and water, and it
And it makes noodles
and it makes noodles like cup of noodles and stuff.
and lasagna.
And
I would
lasagna.
strongly advise not telling Rathgirther.
You'd wear out that spell.
She-
let me
she-
tell ya.
She would have outvoted us all if it came out that there was a machine that just makes food just in this lab.
She would be trying to carry it with her.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you seem to be like you're either staying here or it is coming with us. And
now, Vernon, I heard you had a pocket dimension. So
remember, folks, if you give your party a fantasy version of a vending machine, they will abuse it. So make sure it is not particularly bad.
would anyone like any tea?
No.
Let's see here. Jared fired off more memberships. Jared and Spubby, I think, gave a whole bunch of memberships. So thank you two
Schlups.
very much. Schlups, thank you.
Holy cow. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Let's
Appreciate.
see here. Victor, dead Kronov jail. Question: does TimTam want all 7 clones? There are actually 8 as siblings, but would immediately get jealous for not getting all the attention like a real older sibling.
Oh gosh, that's a very good question because Tim doesn't really know what it is. Well, okay, there's a couple of wrinkles here. One, Tim, does not have any siblings that she has like actually grown up beside, so she doesn't have any of those experiences. But also, she's never gotten any attention. So, I don't think that that's... She is not interested in all of them. I think at least just the one, and then
Because you
maybe
accidentally
later...
woke it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, ostensibly, the rest of them are really just the clone spell. And when a wizard casts a clone spell, like, the thing in the clay... It's typically a clay jar. The thing in the clay jar is literally, like, just a sentient-less meatball. Like, it's not a thing, right? It's not alive in any sense of the word until the person dies, and then it grows. And
It's basically just, like, undetermined stem cells.
yeah,
Basically.
That's right. Humble stem cell.
Kind of on that topic, I have a question for the couch, but
Yes.
mostly for Jay. You ever seen the movie The Island?
Yes.
I fucking knew it. They made us watch that movie in 8th grade for an ethics lesson that they were trying to teach us.
Don't call me out like this, okay?
I'm calling you out like this. For those who are unfamiliar, The Island is a movie that's basically this exact premise. These people are told that this organization, this like for rich people, they can make like non-sentient clones. And so if you ever have like an organ failure or you want a baby, but you don't want to be pregnant, these are like surrogates, and they're always told that they're just like lumps of meat, but then it turns out that actually there's like a whole society of clones. And what happens is that they like it's from the POV of one of the clones, and it's like whenever someone needs to be taken out for organ harvesting, all the other clones are told they're going to the island and it's going to be a magical and wonderful place, and then they just fucking kill them and steal their liver or whatever.
Yep.
And I watched that in 8th grade
A great movie.
with everybody in my class. It's honestly like I do remember it being like really interesting, but
my lovely wife Rose, who's asking, what did you do to my girl, aka the Queen of Thorns? I didn't say she was your girl. How did she get from Barovia to where she's trapped? How do you know these things? Did she manage to get to? How did she manage to get out of Barovia? Or did she manage to get Brierovia? Listen,
We're listening.
It's Marjorie Terrell, right?
Marjorie Terrell. You're right. Yeah. Mildred gets it. Listen. Any coincidental likenesses between your character and the Queen of Thorns is entirely coincidental.
Rose, I know you're in the same room as him right now. You have a Nerf gun. You can use it.
She also does it every time I mention Rathgother's backstory.
This fucking Pocky.
Pocky fuels me. Let's see here. Supernova Blade is asking. Oh, two-part question. Pardon me. 1, what is everyone's favorite Jim Henson property? Wonderful question. And 2, will the next What's Left of Us have some good old-fashioned Happy Time murders? Probably. I'll answer that one. Probably. Jim Henson. That's real hard. I think Muppet Christmas Carol, just because of the fondness I have in general for having watched it like every year when I was a kid. Michael Caine treated all those puppets like they were really there, and whenever that happens with the other actors, it always ends up in a good Muppet movie. So I don't know, it's good. Also, the Ghost of Christmas Present is my favorite. I love him.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, I don't know if I have one because I don't know if I've ever watched really anything that he's worked on.
It's hard to watch your own work, right? Like, you don't see yourself on camera like that.
All right. I watched like a portion of the Christmas movie like this year for the first time, but I was so fucking zonked out on Christmas because I had just like spent a week and a half packing Kickstarter orders. I was not a person on Christmas this year.
So
I just wasn't.
Like,
I
not
fell
even
asleep.
any of like his other like puppetry work. Like, Jesus, what did he did a couple of horror properties. He did, obviously he started Sesame Street. I don't know if he still does it.
I mean, I think
like,
I watched Sesame Street as a kid, but
Jim Henson sets in. Right,
if he was still doing it, that'd be so spooky.
Wild. Listen, nothing could stop
puppeting
Jim
from
Henson.
beyond the grave.
Yeah.
They're doing a weekend at Bernie's.
It's like
with Jim Henson.
I don't think I've ever seen any of like the Muppet movies. I've never seen like basically anything that was referenced in today's stream. I have not seen.
I
so
agree.
I'm just smiling and nodding.
Yeah, I also see. I was a big Sesame Street child, mostly because Zo Monster. Like, there's one of the ones is named after me. We're the same. I identified with her a lot when I was a young child. But no, a lot of the Muppet stuff was like before my time, and it was not really like a brand of humor that I found accessible as a child. Which is a shame because humor? I think like now as an adult, it's like, oh yeah, I would have loved this as a kid, but it was just not something that it was not in my wheelhouse as a kid.
After looking back at some of the projects, I mean, obviously Labyrinth is up there as one of the Jim Henson Company movies. You haven't seen Labyrinth? Well, I'm gonna have to change that. The Witches also was very good. It never changes. Okay. But also, I think the Muppet movie sticks out with me just because, like, the Paul Williams soundtrack is wonderful, and just I like Paul Williams a lot. I'm a big fan of Phantom of the Paradise, and he was big in that. So yeah, I'd say probably either the Muppet movie or any of the other ones I mentioned. Really, I don't think it's a bad one.
It's got to be Muppet Family Christmas as distinct from Muppet Christmas Carol. And beyond that, I would say the Ninja Turtles films are also quite dear to me.
Yes. Yeah.
The old ones, not the...
Of course.
There have been some since that are not...
1, 2, and 3, correct? Thank you.
Didn't know he was involved with those.
I mean, he was the greatest puppeteer of his particular time. Who else were they going to go to?
He personally wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
dead, but the
Yeah.
Jim Henson Company was.
Oh.
Let us see here. What's another question here? The coolest cookie. Will the gnome bots ever get better at baking? Are they capable of learning? The gnome bots are very capable of learning. However, they haven't had anybody who has been able to taste before Henry came back. Because they developed their need to try to do hobbies after all of the butterballs left because they got bored. The gnomes programmed boredom into these automata, and so they picked up hobbies.
Because the gnomes recognize that boredom is a very important part of like the mental stimulation process. You come up with good ideas when you're bored. Boredom is good for your brain.
Yep.
But Zoe, have you also considered that being bored is boring, and I don't want to do it?
I have considered. The answer is no.
Didn't feel like it was a question, but
But yeah, they'll get better, especially now they have people to taste.
sorry.
Are they eating people?
Sorry, what was that?
Don't worry about it. You can trust Henry
Is he?
and the vat babies
The serve man.
to serve.
Serve man to your taste.
Mm-hmm.
Golden feather. Question. I remembered this stream was happening when I got a notification that someone gave me a membership. Was it? I think it was. It probably was Golden feather. Although again, Schlups also gave a fair amount as well, I believe. And I hope I don't see all of my stuff on this thing here, so I don't really see who gave what. I have to fix that somehow. Regardless, let's see here. Question from Med and Math. Apologies for a repeat question from last month, but now that Ron and Mildred are back, thoughts on dice superstitions, dice jail, putting good ones aside for important roles, etc. We answered this earlier, so this is a Ron and Mildred question.
So I just got a new set, thanks to Jared, and they gave me a gift card for what was it, Die Hard Dice or something like that. Sorry if I messed up your company name and you're watching, but I got this new set for Christmas for Vernon specifically, and I've rolled pretty well with them all day. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep using those ones, and then yeah, if they don't work as well, then I'll probably switch them out. But that's my only thing is if they're rolling good, I keep them, and if they don't, then I set them aside for the day.
We did very specifically make you stop using the D&D Beyond dice because
yeah, we are very superstitious about that because I speak so poorly of AI that the computers all hate me. So yes, Die Hard Dice. Yes, that's what it's called.
There we go. Yeah. Mildred, any dice superstitions at all?
I don't really use physical dice, so I mean, I have dice, but I don't really use them.
You got any superstitions about your digital ones?
No.
Perfect.
Finally, a fellow rational mind.
Yeah, it's none of it's real.
Hovering here.
Except that my dice are haunted, but that's not a superstition. That's just
that's
just a fact of life.
There's ghosts. That's not
a perk of the job, really.
Yeah.
It's part of the union. Jared Sadewater, hello Jared, is asking, for everyone, what is a trait that you share with your character or wish you could share with them?
Wings.
Goodness. Wings.
We didn't point it out, but Emery has a new Tailspire model now.
Oh, that's
it has
true.
her wingies.
Yes.
Goodness. We'll have to... you will definitely see pictures of the new model posted somewhere. I am certain of it. If it doesn't get there before the end of next month,
it's my baby girl.
We'll post it. Anyone else?
Let's see, things that I associate
with your character, or you wish you could share with your character in terms of.
Oh man, I wish I could turn into a crab monstrosity at will. I think that would be pretty cool.
Eat your landlord, and no one would
I would be
believe
like,
any witnesses.
my rent is going to go down $250. and it would happen magically.
Right, exactly. Otherwise,
you know.
You would be like, "Wow, it's weird that your name just changed to Amelia Earhart. I think it's time
I know.
to crab it up."
Jesus Christ!
It's not too soon.
No, it's been over 100 years. Come on.
Amelia Earhart got eaten by crabs. It sucked, but it happened. Sorry, Amelia Earhart.
Didn't suck with crabs.
No, they were eating good. And then as in terms of like things that I already associate with getting myself into deals that I probably should know better than to get myself into, which I will not elaborate on.
Jonathan doesn't want anyone to know about the secret, like...
I don't want to put anybody on blast for deciding that, hey, you know what? Actually, you're going to be able to turn into a crab, but at a price.
Oh, I was talking about the secret orb that you keep showing us and saying is gonna, like... and solve all your problems. Oh shit, sorry. It's just it's all you talk about off stream is just this fucking orb that you have.
You guys, you called it a secret orb, and now you brought it up at least 4 different times.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Rob, we've been trying to arrange an intervention for your orb, but you keep giving us the slip because the orb tells you that we're coming.
And now we're doing this in public.
Yeah,
damn orb! I'm gonna have to throw it against the wall.
Call out post for Ronathan's like mysterious orb.
Anyway, I'm
talking about my orb session, okay? Jeez.
My trait that I share with TimTam is a deeply lonely childhood and unrealistic expectations from parents. But the trait that I wish that I shared with her is that I wish that I had a robot dog. I have a meat dog.
That's fair.
You do have a meat dog. Yes.
I have the meat version of Sparks.
Also, weirdly, your parents were also shunted to another dimension, like in real life. Right.
Oh yeah.
Strange coincidence.
Yeah, by the orb.
I was gonna make a joke, but I don't want to dox my mom. But yeah, it would be so. No, but the fun thing is that because my dog has had so many health issues, now some of her joints are actually made of metal. So like I'm working
She's
towards
slowly turning into Sparks.
I am turning my actual dog into Sparks.
I don't know if that's as fun as you made it out to be.
It's been a very hard time for the family, but she's getting better. It's fine. Anyway, let's move on.
I think that really the only thing Rathgurthra and I have in common is that we both have main character syndrome. In terms of what I would want to have in common with her is any measure of physical strength whatsoever.
Listen, it's hard. You got to work for it.
I have been, and it sucks.
It's rough.
To
do. I'll tell you what, Mildred, we'll get you a job at UPS with me, and you'll be swole in no time. Sorry, I meant the box factory.
It's definitely a boom time to be working for UPS.
Oh yes, especially in Canada, where we,
right.
I'm not going to go into what the
Listen,
I'm not going to go into what the earnings call said.
In Canada, the first thing he did was rip a phone book in half.
It's true.
And for those of you who are
too
young,
very
phone books
inconvenient.
are books full of public
I know what
phone numbers.
phone books are. I used the yellow pages many times as a child.
Why would a child use the yellow pages?
Why would it? I don't understand the question.
But what businesses are you looking up?
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean not like the yellow page, like not the business section of the phone book, like the residential section, the like people section of the phone book.
Well, that's the white page.
I
see. That's how young she is. She doesn't know. We got a question from Slapbox. One of our mods, Jay. What the fuck? There it is. That was quite a lot of lore. I was talking to Star just before everybody came back. I'm just gonna move past it. I was talking to Star just before we came back, and I said one of the fun parts about playing a game like once a month for only 2 hours is that I get to we all get to kind of like drop these big moments frequently if you tally up all of our episodes, right? So yes, we are waiting a month between each one, but you get a lot of sauce in those episodes. You know what I'm saying?
We were also talking before the session about how in our Thursday game that we've been playing for less time, but meets twice every 2 weeks instead of once a month, we just entered Act 3 of that campaign, apparently. And yet this one, we're not really even through the first, is what Jay said.
Yeah.
So this this show runs on webcomic time, is what I'm hearing.
We are the Mega Tokyo of D&D campaigns.
Wow.
Let's see here. Question from Hawkford. Is the Queen of Thorns the same person as Grandmother from the Verity and Friends campaign? No, but you did see Grandmother today.
Fucking feather snake.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw Vernon's grandmother. So
Yeah, it was a very granny heavy episode. You're right.
were you, Jay, when you introduced that bird monster, were you afraid that I might follow that bird?
A little. Yeah. Yeah. A little tiny bit. Although that would have also led to some fun things. So.
God, what would have happened?
It would have been a great Muppet caper, I can tell you that.
All right.
Let's see here. Question from Jared. Jay, why do you hurt us? Because it's fun. Question from Still Ellie Moldy. Question, Jay, what the fuck? Thank you. Thank you. Question from Golden Feather. What is each character's favorite Girl Scout cookie, or just favorite type of cookie in general? Thin Mints. Absolutely Thin Mints. Sorry.
Samoas.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably Samoas for Vernon.
I don't know
They
the Girl
changed the
Scout
name
cookies.
of those recently.
Did they?
Thanks.
I just ordered some
Thanks.
recently and I couldn't find them.
Samoas are caramel delights.
That's it.
Oh.
And
Well, I'm going to have to go revise my order.
whatever the peanut butter ones are, or those tagalongs, those are now peanut butter patties.
Oh, see, I did get those, but I thought that was just what they were called before.
But no,
yeah, I think they were originally Tagalogs.
My favorite characters, or my character's favorite cookie is obviously TimTams.
TikToks.
Oh, yes, yes.
You only get that.
Thank
up in
you. That's the
Canada.
joke.
Yeah. And
Ruth-Guther's favorite cookie is probably whichever one she is presently eating.
That tracks.
I love the
Whatever
idea
one is in front of her.
that Ruth-Guther is so much a lover of food that everything she is eating like presently is currently the best thing she has ever eaten.
It has been quite established that I don't even know if she can taste the food at this point.
She has a
Do mushrooms taste?
Yeah, now we know that she's got some sort of higher sense of whatever mushrooms have for taste. She imbibes the very essence of it, and so obviously it is literally the thought that counts with the food that Ruth-Guther consumes. Isn't that nice? Hey?
I think Emery would like. I don't know like all the names of the friggin' Girl Scout cookies off the top of my head, but I feel like Emery would like whatever ones have like lemony flavor. I think those are.
I do like
those
lemon.
exist.
Yeah. Wild. Ooh. Question from Game On. I plan to DM a campaign soon, and I wanted to ask all of you for advice or tips for a beginner like me.
Go on, man.
I have to go last. I'm the DM.
You're allowed to just kind of fudge stuff. Like anytime that I've DM'd, you don't need to know the answers to everything. You can just make stuff up on the spot.
Or you must.
Yeah, like it's if you try to prepare too much, you'll over prepare and it won't be fun and nobody will have a good time, including you. That's it. I think also
make stuff
this is
up
maybe
good. Yeah.
this is maybe a hot take, but I think fewer rolls are better. Don't make people roll dice for everything.
Yeah.
I would say don't be afraid to get silly with it, because your players are going to want to get silly with it. And all of my best sessions have been, what if this silly thing happened? And then we just kept yes-anding each other. And now in our D&D universe that we have that I play at home, it's every single town guard, they are all named Joe. It's a legacy name. Because they met 2 town guards in the first session, and they were like, what are their names? And I'm like, well, one of them is, well, the one you're talking to right now is Joe. And they were like, well, what's the other guy's name? And I said, Joe. Are you all named Joe? Yes, it comes with, it's like our uniform. We're all named Joe.
It's like Nurse Joy.
Yeah, like a Nurse Joy situation. Yeah.
Right, right.
Like when you take up the job, you have to change your name to Joe.
I would say also, if something is critical to the campaign, don't present it as a choice, because your players will always choose not to do the important thing and to do the stupid thing you didn't want them to do. That makes you have to change your entire plan.
There are types of railroading that are good, and that is one of them.
Yep.
Very tiny little bit of track.
Railroading will not bother players so long as you don't present it as a choice that you then take away from them. You know,
or alternatively, it's like the illusion of choice.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you can go up this mountain, you could go down in the swamp, and it's like, oh, you go up the mountain, you find a dungeon, and it's the dungeon you prepped. It's like, oh, you go down in the swamp, you find a dungeon. I've done that before. I have done that many times.
What are they gonna do? They're not gonna know.
They're not gonna know.
It's...
They're not going to change their mind and go back to do the other thing.
No, we didn't want that. Oh, you go to the swamp, you find the dungeon again. Ooh.
You find the dungeon again.
It's
and weirdly,
same
it's the
one.
same dungeon.
Exactly. And then you have a new plot that you can just riff on. Why is this dungeon in 2 places? Ooh.
Oh, I have another piece of advice. Don't be afraid to plagiarize from your favorite media, because some of the best stuff that I've done has been based off of the plots of anime, and we didn't realize it until like I told them. I did an entire arc that was what if Death Note was high fantasy, and it was sick as hell, and it's to this day one of my favorite arcs that I've done in that campaign. I also did one, the last one we did before that game had to go on hiatus because your girls burnt out. I basically did John Carpenter's The Thing with them. There was a fucked up slime monster that was like wreaking havoc in a city, and it kept like chomping people, and it could turn into anything it has ever eaten, and they had to try and hunt it down. So fun fact, did you know that both in that movie and in the Dungeons and Dragons universe of it, the answer to that type of monster is just a shit ton of fire. They threw count 16 Molotov cocktails at it. And it died.
Yep.
In one fucking oh no, it didn't die. They got it down to like 1 HP, and then they were like, let's see if we can try and talk to it. And then instead of trying to talk to it, they put it in a jar that teleports things, and then they teleported it to an unknown location. So
Perfect.
Like
Flawless.
I said, get silly with it.
Yes.
That's not going to come back and bite them in the ass later, though.
That's another important lesson, is that when your players do something like that, it always has to have consequences. It doesn't have to be bad consequences, but like if you send a slime monster, if you piss it off really bad and then put it in a magic jar and send it to another dimension, that should come back to haunt them at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, it 100% is going to. I already know where it went.
I know you would. I was speaking to the person who asked the question.
Ron, did you actually have any advice?
I think that everything's really been covered here. Just throw in some really cool, like off-base things that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Like one time I put a book into a campaign that was like calling out to the players when they went up to it. It like it urged them to cut off their own finger and stuff, and then had a thirst for blood. And just think of like something cool to throw in there that you haven't really seen anywhere else. But I ultimately agree with everything else. Like steal from your favorite media, make it goofy.
I've got
have
one more
fun with it.
little one.
Remember, you also have to have fun.
Little one.
One more little one. Don't be afraid to just like riff off what your players are actively taking an interest in. Because I remember there was one dungeon that I made them go through. There was like this old prison, and there was a wraith in it that was like the final boss. And it was originally just intended to be a one-off monster. And I had no like greater world plans to do with it. And then one of my players, as they were on the way out, they were like, I wonder who put that wraith there. And I was like, well, now I'm gonna figure out who put that wraith there.
the Dave conundrum. We'll talk about him in a minute. So just before I give my advice, Zoe, you have to go. You said, right?
I do. Yes. Unfortunately.
Can you tell these fine folks where to find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Zoe B. Just search Zoe B. Be like the insect. On YouTube, you'll find me. That's me. There's only the one, and it's me. That's it. That's the only place
I
that
thought
I
there
exist.
was another Zoe B, and that was your like doppelganger that you have to destroy at some point.
There's a German singer, like middle-aged German singer named Zoe B, I think. But I think she has like an umlaut over the E in her name.
Zoe.
Which fun fact, I used to do that when I was a child because I thought that it was cool to have the umlaut over the E.
Umlauts are cool.
Umlauts are cool. There's also a like fancy skincare brand named Zoe B who I've desperately been trying to get to sponsor me, but I think that would be confusing. And also they haven't reached out. And also it's just like very expensive and I have very sensitive skin, so I just don't know that it's a good fit. But anyway, I'm on YouTube. That's where you can find me. That's it.
All right, everybody say goodbye to Zoe B for the time being. We'll see
Bye,
you.
Bye,
next
Zoe B,
month.
for the time being. Bye.
Okay. Let's finish off this question before we move on. My best piece of advice. Your story as a game runner is entirely throwaway. It has to be sacrificial. If you do not center the story choices of your players, you do not have a campaign. This is a collaborative space. We are all adding to things here. But if the players specifically are not the driver, then the game runner has nothing to do. And it turns into just you talking a lot. And I know I'm saying this as a DM who famously talks a lot on screen. At any given moment, I just make these horribly ominous lord dumps. But a lot of those lord dumps are things I have either only kind of half written down or formulate on the spot sometimes. For instance, last episode, Vernon and Rathgurther had to be indisposed in some way. I wasn't prepared for that because obviously that's what happens when there's absences. They are not prepared. And so I had to think of something, and I happened to have a couple of overarching meta plots going on, and I just threw the two of them into one of them. And that is what happened there. That was entirely ad-libbed. I made a map really quick before the session started. That's it. So be flexible and don't hold on to your own story. There can be no ego when you are running a game. You are muted, my friend. Oh no, Mildred, you are muted. You're very muted.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Another thing I would add, I forgot to say this earlier. If you put your players in a situation where there's no obvious choice, and Jay's very good at doing this, where you have a choice between A and B and both have a good side and a bad side, or both have a bad side that you have to choose which you prefer or something like that. A lot of people will just put their players in a situation where, do you want to do the good thing or the evil thing? And that's often not an interesting dilemma. But if you put them in a situation where both of the things they have to do could cause someone to come to harm or could have some bad consequence, it just naturally leads to a more engaging play session, I think.
Well, I also think that people identify with that specifically because very often in our lives, our real lives, most of the choices we have to make either don't harm anybody to any significant degree, or are a choice between hurting somebody you know to some extent, and you have to decide what you're more okay with. And there's honestly not a good answer in a lot of those cases. You just have to do something, and so you do. And that is just, that's relatable sort of storytelling to feed into. It's the same way as I don't think death is a very good consequence in games like these, which is why I so rarely kill players, permanently anyway. But like, there's so many things you can do when putting people in mortal danger that is so much better than killing them. If you kill a character, their story ends. That's not good. That's boring from a story standpoint. Why do you think villains and heroes and stuff like that keep coming back from the dead in movies? Because people want to see them more, and they're dead now, so that can't happen. Cue the Reanimator.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Jason Voorhees dies all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, do you want me to list the times Jason Voorhees died? Because I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what.
This is,
Eat it up for you, buddy.
This is a Jason Voorhees podcast now.
Eat it up for you, bud. Let's do it.
I'm so sorry, Golden Feather. There is a question for you where you ask what TimTam would think of Dave. As TimTam is not here, I will reserve the question till later. Please hold on.
And
to
Dave's
that
not here, man.
And Dave is Dave is sort of always here. Dave is hiding.
For context, for those who in the chat and this room who are not familiar,
Yes.
Dave is a NPC from the Sunday game where
He's
I
the
play
greatest
Lapis
Dark
with a
Lord
group of
in
my.
existence.
He is a vampire skull that we found in a dungeon early on in the campaign, and we adopted him because Lapis felt bad for him, and he's obnoxious.
He's such a loser. I made him to be a more nasally Skeletor, and his story is they found him in a crypt that is full of paintings and reliefs of his life story, but it was done by people who were like shoving him in a metaphorical and very real locker. And so they're like, all the times Dave was like just a loser, and he's the type of vampire who doesn't understand how to be a vampire, and so he's remained a skull this whole time. He's great.
Really had a penchant for taking a bite out of crime before this, right?
Yeah, I made absolutely take a bite out of crime. He was not intended to be anything more than a goof, a little goof. You guys,
gave us a funny little guy, and you thought we weren't going to adopt him?
So this thing that I do is I give my players little things, and then I do something big and ominous, and then I go, hey, remember this little silly thing that you did, though? And then I go, oh no, that has implications for my ominous thing. And so what happened was a big villain came and wiped everybody's minds. But because Dave is a vampire skull, and he was currently hiding in a bird cage, because that's where they put him when he's being annoying, there was no way my villain could have known about Dave. And Dave kept his yap shut until she was gone. And then he wouldn't shut up. And now the main plot is Dave has fucked the main villain of that particular campaign. And I did this to myself, chat.
You did.
It's good.
We love Dave.
Dave.
We
David
love
Hours
Dave.
Rose Quill's asking, seeing how Jay likes to make so many characters under grandmother's power, who is it and what left of us? You'll never know.
Never?
Well, that's not true. I'll reveal it at the best case scenario when they can stab you on the back. Right? That's the whole point. Got a real Winter Soldier thing going on. Still a little moldy ass. That's a very cute name. When/how did grandmother first come into existence? I mean IRL, but hey, if you can answer the game lore. I can't answer in game lore because it's too complicated and I don't want to. But grandmother came into existence a few years ago. My partner Rose made a character who required a sort of at least very stern grandmother figure, and I took the opportunity to make somebody who is very controlling and has circuitous plans and stuff like that, and it just kind of spiraled from there. She became a fantastic villain, and I use her for like everything. So
quite literally, like every single campaign, she keeps showing up.
Seems to be a character archetype you enjoy.
Controlling old
Vernon
women.
also has a controlling grandmother with machinations that
does he? Interesting.
Pretty proud of yourself, aren't you?
Extremely, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Math is asking a couple questions here. I'm going to answer your second one because we're getting a little low on time here. Math is asking, which is your favorite between Emmett Otter's Jug Band and Christmas Toy? The Christmas Toy or the Frog Prince?
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Family Christmas. What kind of a question is that?
Jug Band.
This requires no elaboration.
Yeah, no, of course not. Why would it? It's clear just from the name.
I haven't seen any of them, but on titles alone.
There's a lot of questions here. Let's see. No questions.
I've seen the Jug Band movie. I think it's fantastic.
The Jug Band is very good.
It was my favorite when I was a small baby. Or one of them. Anyway.
My lovely wife is asking, how do you... And that's not her screen name. Her screen name is Rose Gold. My lovely wife Rose is asking, how do you choose what villains or characters to cross into multiple games? Honestly, it's entirely opportunistic. Remember what I just said about rolling with the punches and being flexible about it? A player character will make a choice. I have to decide what consequences those choices have. And generally, players really like having a wider mystery to deal with. So if they are not already involved in something very large or don't have a handle on what large thing is already planned for their character arc, I will just throw them into any one of the number of meta plots that I have, because they're fun. They're big mysteries with big villains. Like, why would you not? Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I collect so many over the course of the years, because goodness, it pays to have so many things in your back pocket to just whip out. Like, I have like a tool chest full of evil blorbows that I use. Imagine a dark blorbo. And they're mine.
Imagine 3 blorbos on the edge of a cliff.
Imagine.
I can't wait for the Jaycorn production company to start, and it's like, basically the Canadian Muppets, but it's like he calls them all dark blorbo's.
Sorry, I wasn't reacting to you, Ron. I apologize. Fire Drake McPhee corrected us. Amelia Earhart disappeared in 1937, so she's not quite been 100 years yet. It is too soon. I'm so sorry.
We were close.
80-some years is just too soon.
It's always possible, though, that she got sucked into some sort of time vortex in the Bermuda Triangle. So
that is true.
Yeah,
it is possible, despite the fact that she was flying across the Pacific at the time. But yes.
If you ate the crabs that ate Amelia Earhart, is that indirect cannibalism?
And would you gain the ability to fly planes?
I was going to say, you'd have to get the ability to fly if you did that.
And teleport through the Bermuda Triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone knows that, of course, Amelia Earhart did not die to crabs. Amelia Earhart was sucked into the 24th century and came across the starship Voyager, and was consequently involved in their wacky shenanigans.
So she was in the Delta Quadrant?
She was. So a group of aliens had captured her, and those aliens had returned to the Delta Quadrant, and they were still in stasis at the time.
Well, why couldn't those aliens just take the Voyager home?
It's funny because the aliens had themselves died at that point, and all of the people they had gathered were in capsules still until Voyager came across the derelict ship. It's a decent Voyager episode.
What an elaborate series of coincidences that is.
Oh, extremely.
Dungeons and Dragons.
How long, Golden Feather's asking, has What's Left of Us been going? And I think the anniversary is coming up. You guys just missed the anniversary. It was the first
January.
Yeah, the first the first game in the year is our anniversary. So January was our 3rd year, I believe, this time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a 3rd year. Wild. Any more questions? Do you guys have any questions, by the way, while I'm scrolling past all these questions?
Oh, I've already asked all mine.
Yeah. Let's
I
see
am
here.
only answers.
Let me find a Jim Henson movie that's phrased as a question.
That's good. That's a good idea. Yeah. Honestly, there are a couple of other questions here, but unfortunately, we are like right at 5 o'clock. So I think we have to get out of here. There was a question real quick about what Amelia's sister would think of the wings, which I think is a very easy question to answer.
I hope we'll find out soon, eventually, because I need to have my How to Train Your Dragon moment where I take my sister for a little ride over the forest, and it would be cool.
I mean, it'll be a little difficult considering the predicament she's currently in, but you know.
Hey, what the fuck?
Don't worry about it.
Hey!
I guess-
Hey!
The closest I could find is where the wild things are.
Where they are.
Yeah, where they are.
Where they are.
Strange. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to be it, folks, because we're already at 5 o'clock. That's got to be it for us. If you have any questions that weren't answered, please ask them other places. Our Discords in the comments. Perhaps we will have the chance to answer them. Save them for next time. Perhaps we're gonna go around the table and get everyone's where you can find everybody, and then of course, before we even do that, I'm gonna shout out to our lovely mods. Sam, pronouns in my bio, and Sly Fox. Both of them have been keeping our chat safe and warm for everybody here. Please go check the both of them out. They are both creators in their own right. And obviously, thank you to the people who donated all of those lovely memberships to us. Sound Off and Chat, Jared and Schlups. Please, everybody, give them your heartfelt thanks. And before we leave today, Ron, where can the lovely people find you at?
Sure. So my name is Ron. I'm not really on social media right now, but you can check out my podcast at Just a Little Guy. I am going to probably start production on that again soon. I've been off for a few months because, well,
lots.
The fall/winter has been a bit busy and/or chaotic for me. So, but that's been coming back. You could also find it at justalittleguypod.com. Find it on whatever podcatcher that you use. It's I've had everybody from this show on, and we create monsters together. It's a lot of fun. So go check it out. justalittleguypod.com.
Just a little guy. Star.
Yes. Hi. I am basically everywhere. I am at the Starfish Face. Actually, I'm not everywhere anymore because I have quit most social media because shit fucking sucks. But I'm still on Blue Skis, which is where I spend most of my time. I'm also on YouTube under the name The Starfish Face. I have a new video coming out next week. It's going to be about Pokemon. I'm almost done editing it. I also have a webcomic, castoff-comic.com. It's been a hiatus for a little bit, but it should be coming back in March. Unless if you want to give me $5, you can read the new chapter right now. Also, I have a makeshift plushie that was gonna end today. But my boy was on his very best behavior, and so they extended it until March 9th. So if you would like to get a plushie of my webcomic's main character, that is on Makeshift if you look up the Vector plushie. That is my son.
Yeah.
And a little testimonial. I've been watching some of your art tutorials, and they're quite helpful.
Yay! I am so happy.
Very good. Mildred, I'm so sorry. Do you still do the weekends?
No, I cut them out because, long story, no one cares. But I do have a YouTube channel called Thought Slime where I make silly videos for fun, little goof 'em ups. You can watch those there. But such silly topics as the Turner Diaries or incumbent fascist takeover of the United States, working on a big thing about that. But if you want to watch videos about obscure Canadian television police procedurals with vampires in them, you can go to my horror movie channel, Scaredy Cats, youtube.com/scaredycatstv. I'm also on Blue Skis. Slime Mildred is my handle. I don't know the whole URL.
You'll find it. It's very easy too. Has the same profile pic and everything. Very important when you're moving around social media.
Thank you, Izzy 8-Bit, for that profile picture.
Very much. Very good. Zoe already gave her bits. Perfectly good. I am the Jaycorn. You have found me. This is my channel. You have found all of my channels, Twitch and YouTube. I am also on the Blueskis, and you may find me there. I only do this, nothing else. There is some wiggle room coming up. I know I've been saying this for like a couple of years
1,000 years.
It is. I am forever working on many things. But all of you have really wanted a series on me talking about weaponry because, among other things, I am a historical martial artist, and I have been a paid professional expert on medieval fencing before. And so I have things to say about the confluence of medieval weaponry and the simulated bits of them in role-playing games, which I'm sure all of you would find interesting. And of course, just tips and tricks for running your own games, which will be on this channel, so stay tuned for those. I don't know if I have anything else.
Would you describe yourself as the good Shadowversity?
Oh my god. Shadowversity is infamous. I have so many things to say about Shadowversity.
Really? Because most people think he's so cool. That's news to me. Most people love him.
He does not deserve
because of all of his cool opinions.
If anyone says
I just learned who
Shadowversity
this
is good,
person is. Yeah.
tell them no, he is wrong about everything and he's stupid. He's very bad. And
Yeah.
Shad, if you ever get this clip, I will literally fight you and I know I'll win.
Damn! Fighting words. Meet behind the Denny's.
This dude is the worst martial artist I have ever seen on top of being a shitty human being, so I don't mind at all.
And you've seen me do martial arts.
It's part of the whole pizzazz, though. You see, listen, if you're doing bad martial arts but you're having fun, that's one thing. If you're doing bad
That's
martial
just
arts
life.
and you demand to everyone understand that you're doing good martial arts, that sucks. And you belong in a McDojo. You don't belong in wherever proper martial artists do things. Anyways. Get my blood up because I hate Shadowversity so much. You correct thing to poke at, actually. What else? I don't think there's anything else. We are going to meet again on March 28th. Isn't that an interesting date? For the next episode of What's Left of Us. So we hope we're all going to see you there. Until then, have fun. Just have fun. Be silly little guys. And don't be a class traitor for tongue. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
They don't
do
get
it.
that
Don't do it.
context, Jay.
What context?
Yeah,
There was
you don't need
context?
Exactly.
Just good advice.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why we're leaving it on that.
End the
Say
show.
goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.